The experts told him inflation wouldn't be that bad and that it would be temporary. That obviously is dead wrong. It is that bad. It is most definitely not temporary, which brings us to the question of where are the experts now? Did they lose their job? Did they have a tough year review with old Papa Joe, or he called him into the office? Hey, look, you said you were an expert and you said this would happen and the opposite happened. You were fired. No, of course not. They're all sitting right there, still all retaining the label expert, still all doing news programs with the label expert, sitting down with the president using the label expert. Except the experts in our country in virtually every field, way beyond the economy, medical, science, you name it, all our experts are stupid. They are. Many of them are flat out evil and broken, but they're virtually all stupid. Inflation will be temporary? I'm genuinely stupid. And I told you inflation was coming back during 15 days to slow the spread. Can't stop a $20 trillion economy and then start printing money and passing multi-trillion dollar bills without massive inflation. I told you all this a long time ago. Why do all our experts believe things that are wrong? Why are they all so stupid? Because our credentialed system, our credentialing system, the system they have to go through before they're bequeathed with the title expert, it's broken too. The truth is nothing was temporary. 65% of Americans say they've cut back on entertainment. 61% are driving less, 54% reducing their travel, 41% spending less on groceries. Gosh, that's sad. 32% are taking on more debt via credit cards. Last month alone, gas prices were up 59.9% year over year. It came down a little bit in the red states, but of course states like Hawaii and California out there making sure our national average $4.50 a gallon, give or take. Now, that's an unmitigated disaster on any level. And really, the one that people should realize or should focus on a lot is grocery prices. It's not just gas prices, it's grocery prices, because that's one of those ones, it brings it home for everyone. You don't have to be political. Most people actually aren't political, sadly. They don't want to get involved. Politics is too stressful. But everyone starts to get political when the wife comes home after making a grocery run and says, honey, do we have any more money coming in soon? I can't afford the same groceries we've been buying. When people start to watch their standard of living go down in front of their eyes, they start to get real political real fast. And the White House telling them all, life is good, ain't gonna cut it.
We're very happy to report that the current drop in the price of gas, down 50 cents per gallon over the past 34 days, is one of the fastest decline in retail gas prices in a decade. At current prices, the average American driver will spend about $25 per month less on gasoline than they would have if prices had stayed at their June peak. Economy-wide, that means American drivers are saving around $190 million each day from lower gas prices.
Having it both ways, Jared, because when the gas prices go up, it's got nothing to do with the president. When we see some decline, you want him to get the credit.
Look, I think that there's no both-way thinking here at all.
Ouch. I mean, there's lies, and then there's spin, and then there's whatever you call that. I mean, look, this is a tactic. This is something this administration has just decided they're going to use. No matter how bad it is, go on camera and brag. Here's Joe Biden just the other day.
When should they expect to see a real change in prices, though they've already been coming down?
Change.
They've already been coming down.
That's right. They've been coming down every single day, to the best of my knowledge. And we'll see more when we see gas stations start to lower their price consistent with what they're paying for the oil.
That's not going to work with your now newly political neighbor because he can't afford to go visit his mother this year. And let's remember, as I'll play you here in a moment, these people aren't even trying to lower gas prices. That's not a goal. They tell you it's a goal because you're mad about it, but that's not a goal. I mean, they took 6 million barrels of oil from our strategic oil reserve and they sold it off to China. On top of that, let's keep in mind Hunter Biden still has that 10% stake in the Chinese oil company, despite saying repeatedly that he had divested from the company. But back to what we were talking about how they're not even trying to lower the prices. Remember something, and it is important. I know you already know this, but it is important to always keep this in mind. These people have campaigned for ages on making energy prices high so they could force people into green energy, which that's not what it is, but they've openly campaigned on it. I remember when Barack Obama was back then, when Barack Obama said, under my system of a cap and trade system, energy prices would skyrocket. Joe Biden campaigned, we've played you 1,000 times during the debates, we're gonna shut down oil, we're gonna force this transition. Just because you're angry now about these high prices doesn't mean they are. They'll act a little angry, but they're not angry at all. Listen to John Kerry and Rear Admiral Buttigieg.
We all have to be able to reduce the emissions. We have to accelerate the transition. We're behind.
We're for cutting the cost of electric vehicles, because when you have an electric vehicle, then you're also going to be able to save on gas, but you got to be able to afford it in the first place. Right. Now we're actually starting to see on some models the costs come to where even if your car payment's a little higher, your gas payment will be a little lower and you come out ahead. But the prices still need to come down for most Americans to be able to get in an EV.
It's not that they don't know how to solve the problems we have. It's that they don't look at the problems we have as problems. They want gas prices high. They want energy prices high. They want the oil industry decimated. And frankly, they want you decimated, because the problem they're interested in solving is you. Remember, all of our leaders and all of our cultural institutions, they all believe you're the problem. Your car, your food, your stupid love of freedom, you saying things that the regime doesn't want you to say. If you peasants would just get in line, they all sit around and they try to come up with ways to solve problems. Yeah, but they're not trying to solve the problem of high gas prices. They're all trying to solve the problem of you. Now, what does that look like in practice? What do these climate change, death cult policies, what do they look like in practice? Well, it looks like Sri Lanka, where they're burning down the prime minister's mansion. It looks like what's happening in Europe right now. Since Russia cut off so many of these countries, they're now begging authoritarian regimes for oil. These are countries that have stopped their own nuclear plants. We're going to go green. We're Europe. Stick my pinky out. And now brownouts, blackouts. We have government control of people's thermostats. Make no mistake about it. Being energy independent, in fact, rejecting all this climate change insanity, is a national security issue and should be treated as a national security issue.
Don't miss Jesse Kelly Breaks History, The Forgotten Genocide, the first episode of a new series available now exclusively for First TV supporters. Visit the First TV app or thefirsttv.com to subscribe and start watching today.